Now, we want to look at quadratic equation. When you look at this is an equation. It's different from an expression because it has this equality sign, equality. So it's different from an expression. And the major difference between the two is that this, you are not only meant to factorize, but you are meant to solve. Whatever you can say solve. That you are meant to find the values of x. X can be one value, while in most cases x is going to be two values because it's quadratic. Now, let's look at the question. X squared plus 2x minus 35 equals 0. Then we can factorize this because it's factorizable. What about if it is not factorizable? In our next video, we'll be looking at different ways by which a quadratic equation can be solved, apart from using factorization method. Now, but for now, we'll be looking at factorization method. Now, I want to factorize this. This has been explained in our previous videos on how to factorize. So, the same process. X squared is equal to 1. So, we multiply the last, which is the constant values, with the coefficient of x squared. Minus 35 times 1 will give us minus 35. Then with plus 2, we also have plus 2. So you think of two numbers that when you multiply, it's going to give us minus 35. And when you add, it's going to give us plus 2. So you think of two numbers that when you multiply them together, you have minus 35. When you add, you have plus 2. You can think of 7 plus 7 and minus 5. When you multiply these two numbers together, you are going to get minus 35. And when you add them, you are going to get plus 2. Now, we can now go back. X squared is still the same thing, x squared plus, instead of 2x, 2x can now be replaced with 7 and 5. 7x minus 5x. As replace 2x, then we have minus 35 equal to 0. Now, between these two, x is common, we bring it out, so we left with a single x. Plus, x is out, we are left with 7. Minus 5 is common between 5 and 35. So here we are left with x, because 5 is already out. Minus becomes plus, because there's a minus outside the bracket. You have to change the sign inside the bracket. 35 divided by 5 will give us 7. It still equals to 0. Now, x plus 7 is common to both sides, so pick one, x plus 7, and x minus 5 equals to 0. This will now give us either x plus 7 is equal to 0 or x minus 5 is equal to 0. Either one of the two is equal to 0. Now x to be equals to, this is plus 7, when it comes here it becomes minus 7. Or x, instead of minus 5, when it comes here it becomes 5. So now I have two different answers for x. X equals to minus 7 and x equals to 5. This is the final answer to this quadratic equation. Now let's look at question 2. In question 2, is 3y squared minus 8p equals to 3. Instead of us to have it to be equal to 0, but this time around is equals to a particular number which is 3. So we can bring this 3 back to this side of the equation. So it can become 3y squared minus 8p minus 3 equals 0. We've transferred this 3 to this side of the equation. So you can rearrange irrespective of the way the question comes. Now we now have quadratic. The same process. Pick the first number and the last number, multiply them together. Minus 3 times 3 will give us minus 9. Then we have minus 8. So think of two numbers that when you multiply, you are going to have minus 9. And when you add, you are going to have minus 8. Think of two numbers. So we can think of 9 and 1. Minus 9 and plus 1. When you multiply them, minus 9 times plus 1 will give us minus 9. When you add them, minus 9 plus 1 will give us minus 8. So minus 9 plus 1 is a factor that can go here. So we are going to have 3y squared. Instead of minus 8, it's going to be minus 9 No, there is this supposed to be y, this supposed to be y. Should be the same alphabet. So we have minus, that will be minus 9y plus y minus 3 equals 0. Should be the same alphabet. Now, we now have 3y squared minus 9y plus 1 has replaced minus 8y. Then minus 3 equals 0. Between this and this, 3y is common. So you are left with y. Minus y is out. 3 is out of 9, you have 3. Plus, here nothing is common. So we put 1 and we have y minus 3 equals 0. Since nothing is common, you put 1 outside. So since y minus 3 is common to both sides, we pick 1. Since y minus 3 is common to both sides. So we now have 3y plus 1 equal to 0. So we now have either y minus 3 is equal to 0 or 3y plus 1 is equal to 0. Now, we can transfer minus 3 to the other side of the equation. We now have y to be equals to 3 or 3y. When we transfer plus 1, it becomes minus 1. Since we are looking for y, we divide both sides by the coefficient of y, which is 3. So divide both sides by 3, we are going to get y to be equal to minus 1 over 3. So we have two answers for y equals to 3 and y equals to minus 1 over 3 for this question. So in our next class, we'll be looking at more examples on quadratic equation. Thank you.